Trade.
Okay, so the business of taxes, that's our big topic throughout the day here on Fox Business. And, well, in some ways, I guess it's more like the business of spying. If you look at what the IRS is claiming, it says it does not need search warrants in order to access people's private emails. So we have the judge, Andrew Napolitano, Fox News senior judicial analyst, in to talk to us about this story where people say, uh-oh, the IRS has come in. Can they do this? Look at your emails?
Well, I don't think they can do it, and the one court that has ruled on it says they can't do it. The IRS is not unique among government entities in claiming the ability to do it. What's unique is that the ACLU filed a Freedom of Information Act request a while ago, and all the documents came out yesterday.
Right.
4 days before everyone's taxes are due. So this is extremely topical right now. But here's the IRS's position. The IRS says if you, Connell McShane, send me, Andrew Napolitano, an email, you don't have an expectation of privacy because you revealed the contents of it to me and to the people who got it to me, the server of the computer on which you sent it.
And why is that not, why does that hold up legally, that argument?
Well, because the IRS is the government. And the government, in order to look at one's possessions, papers, and effects, I'm using language from the Fourth Amendment, needs a search warrant. But the IRS has said, look, there are statutes that say if you send this email and you don't delete it, you let it sit there, we can presume that you don't intend that it's private.
Oh, okay.
Now, most Americans I would think, don't know this.
No, I don't think so at all.
And I think would be outraged that the government is snooping at their emails. What will outrage them even more, and they should know this, is that if the government doesn't do anything with this information, it just stores it, you'll never know that they've been reading your emails. You will only know that they've been reading your emails if they prosecute you, and during the course of the prosecution, this is a very narrow group of people whose emails are being read. Sure. And during the course of the prosecution, they reveal how they got the email, which is they just went in and looked at it.
They just looked at it. They didn't get a warrant, because we hear emails and the contents of them all the time in court cases, but those are warrants, right?
They are warrants or subpoenas, or they've been surrendered voluntarily. But the concept of the government listening, reading our emails without a search warrant strikes one as profoundly violative of our natural right to privacy, our right to be left alone, which is protected expressly, though obviously they didn't have email at the time, by the drafters of the Fourth Amendment.
But the idea is the same, no matter what it is. Because now, say that scenario, and I think I know the answer to this already, but it just brings up the point. You send me the email, or I send you the email. We both work here at the same place. I mean, Fox could read the emails because it's a private corporation, right? And they have access to our conversations.
Yes, they do. But if we worked for the government, even though the government was our employer, it would be restrained by the Fourth Amendment. Remember the basic rule. The Fourth Amendment only restrains the government, but it restrains all the government. The military can't read our emails. The IRS can't read our emails. The Department of Homeland Security can't read our emails unless they go to a judge and get a search warrant.
That's an interesting. I hadn't thought of that. For a government worker, they can't snoop in on your emails the same way a private corporation can. What do you think comes of this? It looks like the IRS is pretty determined to find new ways, just in general, to find tax cheats. We had a story earlier that they were looking through, or basically stalking people on Facebook, going in there to see if they could find tax cheats that way.
The Facebook is different.
Totally different, right?
As I said to Varney, if he takes a trip to the Caribbean and he deducts it for income tax purposes, claiming it was a business-related trip, but yet he posts pictures of himself in a grass skirt and a hula hoop on the beach.
Well, that should be illegal on some totally different grounds. I think we all agree.
And the IRS sees that. I'm giving a silly example intentionally.
Yes, you are.
That would give the IRS argument against what he filed on his taxes.
Did you ever see,
to the extent that they're looking at something that in my hypothetical, Stewart has chosen to make public, truly public, that's perfectly acceptable. In fact, that's a prudent thing for the IRS to do, because they're using public sources rather than disturbing judges looking for search warrants when they're really looking for a needle in a haystack.
Kind of interesting stuff in a lot of ways. And also, you ever see Stewart's sandals? He wears these sandals on the weekends. I'm
quite familiar with that. Yes, there's a famous picture, an infamous picture of him driving a John Deere tractor in sandals.
Just something
almost criminal.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you about the legal issues surrounding that, but I guess we don't have time. Thank you, Judge. Always good to see you.
Pleasure. We're going to hear about that.